everybody, this is Mike Crispino. Join me as we go behind the scenes with the mover and shaker of St. John's Athletics.
When Father Harrington hired me, he gave me charge saying, this is yours, you grew up here, you've seen how it's developed, it's your chance now to take it to the next step.
A nail-biter with Boston College is followed by a breakthrough against Syracuse.
Lopez all by himself, and St. John's will snap a 6-game losing streak. Felipe Lopez.
And the continuing basketball education of Shawnelle Scott from St. John's to the Cavaliers.
You know, the NBA and college is different, so you just have to get those, to get those styles down packed.
All that and more coming up next on this edition of the Red Storm Report. The Red Storm Report is brought to you by the employee owners of Trans World Airlines. TWA, we're up to something good. And All Sport, the official sports drink for NCAA championships. And New York Lottery, the New York Lottery supporting education since 1967. The New York Lottery makes us all a little richer.
Thank you. I check a lot of bags for TWA. Send them to places like JFK and LAX. Now I'm checking quite a few to CUN, LAS, even YYZ. Along with those to PBI, MCI, and MLI. Way overpacked for MCO. More like DEN or something.
For over 90 cities worldwide, think Trans World Airlines. We're up to something good.
SFO, SAN, SRQ, SNE, SEA.
I was crying like a baby.
When John Benton won $1,000 a week for life, everyone's eyes welled up with tears.
No, I didn't cry.
Yeah, you did.
Of course, John does come from Elba, New York.
The onion capital of the world. $1,000 a week for life. That's a lot of onions. What's he going to do with all of these onions? I love onions. Forget this onion business. Take a cruise.
Win for life. You keep living, we'll keep paying.
I'd have to buy $1,000 worth of breath mints. Hey, I can.
I know about performance. You need the right technology. You need the right equipment. You need reliability. You need the right gasoline. And you need the right skills.
You need to trim the bushes.
Citgo says go.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Red Storm Report. I'm Mike Crispino. We begin the week at 10-12, 5-9 in the Big East Conference with 4 games remaining. So some simple math tells us that the Red Storm must sweep the final 4 games of the year to finish over 500. 1996 was a year of change at St. John's, and change began at the top. Ed Manetta is the man who must lead the athletic department into the next century. The day starts for Ed Manetta attending to the needs of his wife and 2 children. Then a quick drive from Westchester County to the campus of St. John's, where he has served as athletic director since 1995. A former alumnus, Ed was a man with a plan when Father Harrington handed him the reins.
I think my credo was energize and modernize. It was really to capture what the tradition has been in the past, but also bring into the future as we build for the next century and examine the different parts of the department. It's like anything else when you're building, to start with a solid foundation. And I always had the pyramid theory that, each year we're going to add another layer till we get to the top. And a number of things changed last year, and we think it's all for the positive. When Father Harrington hired me, he gave me a charge saying, this is yours, you grew up here, you've seen how it's developed. It's your chance now to take it to the next step. And they have been wonderful. They have said, it's your ship, you run it, just get us there and make it part of what we're trying to do for the entire university, which will really take us to that next millennium. And it's been a wonderful experience. I think we have been able to make the changes and the adjustments that really are meaningful.
One very meaningful adjustment was the hiring of Coach Fran Fraschilla. The 2 work hand in hand to bring St. John's basketball back to national prominence.
There's no question that Ed is a great love for St. John's and a great feeling for getting the athletic department and particularly basketball back to the status it's held for so many years. And I'm always going to be grateful to him and Father Harrington for hiring me. So obviously I'm biased. But, just watching them day to day and see all the changes, marketing standpoint, improvement in facilities, things he's doing for our student athletes over a wide spectrum of sports makes me feel good about working for him. It makes me feel good about being a part of what he's trying to build at St. John's.
And one of the things that attracted me to him was his philosophies and how he attacked recruiting, how he attacked the day-to-day operation, and how organized he was, and what his goals and his direction and the fire in his belly that really has been able to bring the program to the point where I feel that success is at the door.
I think he actually takes the losses harder for me than he does for himself. You know, he's always there to console after a tough loss or a good win, and he's been very supportive. I think he understands exactly what we're trying to do in terms of building the program up long term over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And in that sense, I think my plan that I espoused to him when he interviewed me is, I think, very similar to the plan that he wanted in place.
I think he's more than lived up to what we thought. I think that Fran has been a person who has brought his style and his sense of what the direction is, the focus, and that's real important on anything. He has a plan as well, and when you see a person who takes a business approach, but also has an approach that he looks out for the welfare of the athletes, you know you're going to be successful.
We're on the same wavelength, and you know, we have healthy discussions about decisions that have to be made, and he's the boss, but I think he feels good about the direction that our basketball program is heading.
Hi, Bob. It's Ed Manetta. Good. How are you doing? I just wanted to let you know we did get the report back in for the first semester grades for the athletes. And the good news is over 50% of our athletes attained honor roll status. So I think that, you know, some of the programs that we put in place, our tutorial programs, our life skills programs, and really beginning to pay off. Our athletes embody the St. John student today, a cross-section of what the typical St. John students are all about. We talk about the work ethic of our St. John students, and it's the same way on all of our teams. So while it's academics and in the classroom, and then the athletics match that, and I think if you come out of that, you really embody what a St. John's person's all about. Now, we were talking last time, Dave, about the parking lot here as a possibility, and then plus the soccer. You know, if we did build the soccer stadium, we might look back in that area there.
Ed is trying to bring a new sports facility to the campus while continuing to make other improvements.
I think you'll see the new weight room that we have for students. This is really for students' exclusive use. I think you're seeing that we have a new seating where the students will sit down at Alumni Hall. They've been moved down close. We've tried to improve our recreation hours for our students, faculty, and staff. And there's a lot of cosmetic things that we've done here, but the big thing will be the push for the future to bring the facility on campus. We've also been able to generate additional funds for our scholarship program for all of our different sports. We have a national champion in soccer, and we're looking at a way to help satisfy our recreation and our soccer needs, and hopefully building a new soccer stadium. And of course, we're looking at a new on-campus facility, a multi-purpose facility that will serve all the needs of all the constituencies in which we serve.
Setting goals, working as a team, that's the best way to improve St. John's.
I think it's really getting a consensus, letting everyone buy into it, share your philosophy with everyone. Where are we going to go? How can they be part of it? Build the excitement. And that is the chemistry. It's like anything in any type of teamwork. It's building that chemistry and laying the solid foundation for the future. And I think we really have started on progressing and completing what we would call our strategic 5-year plan and making everything that we wanted to possible.
Now it's time for the New York Lottery St. John Student Athlete of the Week. This week's honoree is Jerome Kim of Tuckahoe. He was an All-Big East selection in both his freshman and sophomore campaigns and was chosen as the golf team's MVP. He was a medalist at the 1996 ECAC qualifying tournament, and in the classroom, Jerome has maintained a 3.6 grade point average. The New York Lottery, supporting education since 1967, salutes Jerome Kim for his outstanding achievements. The New York Lottery makes us all a little richer. Coming up, it goes down to the wire again. Watch all the action on this week's highlights.
Kovlov's got the puck. Finds driver with a big pass. Down low. Score!
You're watching MSG Network. We're all over it.
Introducing the New York Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now and get the only card that gives you savings, service, and great Knick discounts. Get the savings of no annual fee, This low introductory rate for purchases when you pay your bill over time. And American Express service. Plus, discounts at the Garden at restaurants and on Knicks merchandise. A free gift just for using the card. You can even win prizes like a skybox seat to a Knicks game. So apply for your Knicks credit card from American Express. Call 1-800-KNICKS now, because there's just one thing to say about a credit card this great. American Express helps Knicks fans do more.
And the game did as well.
Felipe Lopez led the way with 24 points on 8 for 13 shooting. At one point, the Red Storm led 53-37 with 15 minutes left.
Well, in the Syracuse game, we knew we would see 2-3 zone early in the game, and I think the key was how we were going to handle it. The ball movement, the shot selection was outstanding. When people play zone, they're telling you to shoot it from the outside. When you can get it inside, then you're really putting a knife in their heart. And I thought we did a great job in the Syracuse game of attacking the Syracuse zone, both in the middle and along the baseline.
A furious orange rally culminated in Jason Sapola's three-point banker, made it 89-87 with 7 seconds remaining, but finally St. John's caught a break when Todd Bergen stepped on the sideline.
And they turn it over. Oh, McNabb with it in the corner. And they say he stepped on the line. Wow.
2.1 seconds. St. John's has to get the ball inbounds.
Ahead, Lopez all by himself, and St. John's will snap a 6-game losing streak. They lead at 91-87, and that is a ball game.
The Dunks of the Week are brought to you by All Sport, the official sports drink of NCAA championships.
Lopez forces it, and the follow by Hamilton.
The big fellas running the floor. 2.1 seconds. St. John's has to get the ball inbounds.
Lopez all by himself, and Felipe Lopez, 24 points.
When I was a kid, I watched them build this bridge. I used to take the double R to school. I bagged groceries and ran elevators in New York City to pay for my tuition. No one in my family had ever gone to college before, so it was a pretty big deal when I graduated from St. John's. I've accomplished a lot since then. I wouldn't be where I am, I wouldn't be who I am without the things I learned at St. John's.
I was crying like a baby.
When John Benton won $1,000 a week for life, everyone's eyes welled up with tears.
No, I didn't cry.
Yeah, you did.
Of course, John does come from Elba, New York.
The onion capital of the world. $1,000 a week for life. That's a lot of onions. What's he going to do with all of these onions? I love onions. Forget this onion business. Take a cruise.
Win for life. You keep living, we'll keep paying.
I'd have to buy $1,000 worth of breath mints. Hey, I can.
Okay, Max. I'm flying to Puerto Vallarta today. Can you say Puerto Vallarta?
Santo Domingo.
No, that was yesterday.
Honolulu. Miami.
Puerto Vallarta.
Montego Bay. Orlando. Cancun.
Puerto Vallarta.
Fort Lauderdale.
You can see all these sunny destinations on Trans World Airlines. We're up to something good.
Puerto.
Huh?
Puerto. Puerto Rico.
After one half of football, San Francisco leads New York 540 to 310.
In the future, it won't be just how hard you play, but how good your sports drink works. With a third more carbs than Gatorade and B vitamins to unlock carbohydrate energy. All Sport is not just a thirst quencher. It's a body quencher.
Isn't that new 300-pound ball?
Yeah, here you go.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Red Storm Report. Welcome back, I should say. We're inside the locker room with the coach, Fran Fraschilla, coming off the Syracuse victory. Your team shoots 61%. I'm assuming you practiced shooting all week before that game.
Interestingly, Mike, and this is not, doesn't take a genius to figure this out. We did a lot of work this last week or so on our shooting, and but I think in the Syracuse game, the key to the high percentage was the great ball movement. We really got the ball inside against the zone, and we made some shots as well. So it was all dial it up to a high shooting percentage.
Let's get specific, if you can, about what you do in practice to work on shooting.
You know, we did more shooting this last week or 10 days than we have all season. We really cut back on some other areas of play defensively, and we really haven't been great defensively lately, but our shooting's gotten better. And a lot of basic stuff, a lot of simple stuff, but a lot of repetition, and guys, I think, have started to get into a groove a little bit.
Now, you didn't have them shooting games of horse or something, did you, during practice?
No, but just basic things that you do from 6th grade on up to work on your shooting. A lot of shots, a lot of repetitions, and we took a lot of practice time in the last week or so and really spent time on that area, and it paid off.
Interesting development. Colin Charles plays a lot of minutes in these last 2 games. In fact, Colin Charles, only a freshman, starting to develop as we get into February. What's been happening with him?
Well, you know, Al McGuire, the great coach, once said, Mike, the great thing about freshmen is they become sophomores. And in Colin's case, he's becoming a sophomore in February. He's really getting an understanding of how to play at different speeds. And yet, his great speed gets us easy baskets in the open court, and he's been tremendous for us.
Against Syracuse, you have a 16-point lead. Then it starts to evaporate, dissipate, disappear. All big words, of course.
Yeah.
Timeouts. What do you say to the team when it sort of starts getting out of hand?
Well, let me get my dictionary first to figure that out. But honestly, we knew they were going to make a run. We had done a great job defensively to that point on the perimeter guys, and they made some shots, and they came at us hard. And I told the team, we're not backpedaling. Do not backpedal. Let's go right back at them. So for once, I thought this year our defense didn't win the game, and really our offense did, because every time they scored, we made big buckets back on them. And the whole key, I think, philosophically was not to backpedal and to go after them. And we really took it to them. And they took it to us. And it went back and forth. And fortunately, we made some big plays at the end.
Boston College, another 1-point loss. And I don't see any receding hair. I don't see any torn clumps out of your head. How are you dealing with losses like that?
No, you know, there's no gray here. I don't know. No, it was tough to take, and you know, it really, we just constantly keep talking to these kids about playing hard, and as I've said a couple times, Mike, the fine line between winning at UConn and losing to BC at the buzzer at home is thin, and this is a good basketball team. I really believe we're playing as good right now as we did when we beat UConn and Pittsburgh in January. It's just that the we had to bounce back, and it was a tough loss. We know we played well against a very good team, but we had to bounce back against Syracuse.
Connecticut beats Boston College in Boston earlier this week, so who is your this week's best team in the conference?
Boy, I don't know. You know, it's tough to say. I thought Providence and BC were really the class of the league, along with Villanova, and they all lose on one night. And so who knows? Maybe it's going to be us soon. But honestly, it's the way the league is. And the balance, I think, says something for how good this tournament is going to be, as we've said a couple times in the last few weeks.
Yeah, but we've said that a number of times. As a matter of fact, 4 games left on the schedule. What do you hope to accomplish here? I mean, is it a numbers game? Do you say we've got to win 3, we've got to win them all? What do you look at?
No, I think what we have to do and what we've always done in terms of my coaching philosophy is start a 1-game winning streak. The only thing that matters is going to Rutgers and playing well. And then after that game is over with, we'll try to hopefully start another 1-game winning streak. But if you look down the road too far, you lose focus. So right now, we talk about just getting ready for Rutgers. And if we take care of Rutgers, which is going to be a very tough game, obviously, then you move on to the next one. And if you lose at Rutgers, you move on to the next one. So the focus is on Rutgers.
Philosophically speaking, of course, this is the philosophical part of the program. Do you believe that breaks even out over the course of the season? I mean, are you going to get some bounces here?
You know, it's tough. I always talk to the team about the basketball gods, and I tell them that if you work hard, the basketball gods are with you. And, of course, that little slogan has not rung true. But I hope they even out over the course of my career at St. John's. I hope that, you know, whether it's the end of the season or somewhere down the road, we win these close games. And, frankly, what we've gone through is going to make us a better team, either at the end of this year or down the road. I told our freshmen, you remember what we've gone through, and you pass this on down to the kids coming in over the next 3 years, and don't ever let this happen again.
Now, you once gave me some shooting tips at the Garden, and I believe I did make the shot following that. I was giving some shooting tips to a former Red Stormer, Redmond, Jason Williams in Florida this week, and we're going to talk about Shawnelle Scott.
The night he scored 1 point.
The night, did you have to bring that up? He scored 1 point, I know. But we're going to talk about Shawnelle Scott next, one of the great rebounders in this program.
Yes, Shawnelle, the thing I love about Shawnelle is, you know, he graduated from St. John's a couple of years ago with his degree, kept working, went overseas, played in the CBA, hung tough, and now he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's a credit to Shawnelle and his work ethic that he's hanging tough, and we hope he has a bright future in the league.
All right, that's coming up next, thanks to the coach, of course, Shawnelle Scott, when we return on the Red Storm Report.
I'm going to be dealing with all types of people in the workforce. So I wanted a college that would help me do that. At St. John's, there's a wonderful mix of people and cultures. Academically, St. John's is top-notch. The professors are great. But I have my favorite. Next semester, I have an internship with the newspaper. I'm learning what it takes to make it in the real world. I'm glad I chose St. John's.
I was crying like a baby.
When John Benton won $1,000 a week for life, everyone's eyes welled up with tears.
No, I didn't cry.
Yeah, you did.
Of course, John does come from Elba, New York.
The onion capital of the world. $1,000 a week for life. That's a lot of onions. What's he going to do with all of these onions? I love onions. Forget this onion business. Take a cruise.
Win for life. You keep living, we'll keep paying.
I'd have to buy $1,000 worth of breath mints. Hey, I can.
Thank you. I check a lot of bags for TWA. Send them to places like JFK and LAX. Now I'm checking quite a few to CUN, LAS, even YYZ. Along with those to PBI, MCI, and MLI. Way overpacked for MCO. More like DEN or something.
For over 90 cities worldwide, think Trans World Airlines. We're up to something good.
SFO, SAN, SRQ, SNA, SEA.
Time for a pop quiz. There are 7 St. John's alumni in the NBA right now. Can you name them? Give you a moment. All right, time's up. We're going to introduce you to the one man who you probably didn't know was in the NBA. The St. John's NBA Wall of Fame has to make room for a new member. No longer do Chris Mullin, Jason Williams, Bill Wennington, Malik Sealy, and Mark Jackson have the spotlight all to themselves. Joining his famous alumni is forward Shawnelle Scott, who learned the ropes going from college to the CBA to the NBA.
Coming out of high school, you know, high school and college was like a big transition. So, you know, it taught me a lot there. And then going from, you know, when I first came out, you know, it was a little tough. You know, I had to go for the CBA for 2 years, but I learned a lot of things from St. John's that helped me in the CBA, and that helped me now in the NBA. This has been a great learning experience. You know, the 2 levels are much different. And you've got to be mentally tough as well as physically tough, but you just, you know, it's a lot to learn, and you just got to accept the things that you have to learn rather than, you know, try to run away from it. You have to be smart, you know, and get the right position and, you know, try to help your teammates out in any way you can.
Shawnelle averaged 16 points as a senior and learned much from Brian Mahoney and Lou Carnesecca.
You know, the NBA and college is different, so you just have to get those, you know, to get those styles down packed. But as far as helping out and, you know, we played a lot of man-to-man when Lou Carnesecca was there, you know, as well as when Brian Mahoney was there. So, it you know, it helped me a lot coming here, you know, especially with Lou Carnesecca was there. A lot of things he said to me stuck in my head, you know, just being tough physically, you know, boxing out. You know, just basic things, helping your teammates out, you know, closing the lanes and, you know, things like that.
We caught up with Scott at the Meadowlands, and he was happy to be back in the tri-state area.
It's a great feeling to be back home. You know, I can't wait to be playing the Garden, but it's a great feeling just to be in the NBA, period, man. But coming home is always special. You know, you got a couple of friends and relatives coming to the game. It's always special that way. The Meadowlands, you know, playing Seton Hall, you know, it does bring back memories, man. You know, I don't think I ever won a game here in the college level, but, you know, we had some good games against Seton Hall, and, you know, hopefully we have a good one tonight and win.
Follow the Red Storm these days? You find out what they're doing?
St. John's, I always follow them. I always try to, if they're not on TV, I try to read the newspaper and see what they're doing. You know, I'm friends with a couple of guys on the team, so. Right now, they're not that bad. You know, it's tough. I know a lot of people are down on them, but, you know, sometimes, you know, you know, things aren't always that easy. You know, they get it together. You know, Fran Fraschilla is a great coach. It's his first year. You know, them guys, they get it together. It's not. I'm not down on them at all. You know, if they was 0-18, I still love them. After the school I went to, I love St. John's, and you know, they're gonna do well.
Thanks for joining us. This is Mike Crispino. We hope to see you all again next week on the Red Storm Report.